A visibly angry President Joe Biden took his message to the American public on Thursday evening, calling out Special Prosecutor Robert Hur for his report on the Biden classified document investigation. Now, that investigation, of course, recommended no criminal charges for President Biden, even though Hur did determine that President Biden willfully took documents from the Obama administration, but because he fully cooperated, sat for interviews, complied with every single subpoena, did everything he was supposed to do, returned everything, Robert Hur says, not going to charge him. So why was Biden so pissed off? Because Robert Hur, who, by the way, was a Trump-appointed prosecutor back in the day, which is why Merrick Garland picked him, because Merrick Garland said, oh, God, don't want to look like we're partial to anything. Let me pick a Trump guy. Mr. Hur decided to use most of the report to just launch a political attack against President Biden, calling him a sympathetic, well-meaning, elderly man with a poor memory. A statement that was not relevant to the actual investigation. Mr. Hur also had the audacity to suggest that President Biden didn't remember when his own son died of cancer. That is the part that understandably and justifiably pissed off the President of the United States to where he got on TV, delivered an address to the nation itself, and said this: how in the hell dare he raise that? Frankly, when I was asked the question, I thought to myself it wasn't any of their damn business. Every Memorial Day, we hold a service remembering him, attended by friends and family and the people who loved him. I don't need anyone to remind me when he passed away. I fail to see how the death of President Biden's son was even relevant. Like, why would this jackass special prosecutor, appointed by a jackass attorney general, because Merrick Garland sucks, why would you even need to know that? That's not relevant to any part of this investigation. You're doing it to be an ass. If Biden wins re-election, the first thing he needs to do is get rid of Merrick Garland. That guy has been an unmitigated, absolutely pathetic, weaselly attorney general who does not deserve that position. Go back and look at the number of white-collar prosecutions, by the way. It has fallen to even below Trump levels under Merrick Garland. This guy's not doing his damn job because he's too friggin' afraid to do anything. He is a coward and shouldn't have this position. And I'm pissed off about this question, right? I understand Biden, obviously way more pissed off, rightfully so, but this is insane that this was even asked. Now, the problem is, what's been around the headlines the last 2 days since this report came out on Thursday evening? Well, what's been in the headlines is the poor memory part. He didn't remember his son's death. And it comes at a time where in the last week, twice, President Biden has very unfortunately forgotten who he spoke to and claimed that he had spoken to either dead people or people who had left office many, many years ago. So it was a week of gaffes for President Biden that were not good. Let's be honest about that. Not good. Showed that, yeah, his memory is definitely not super great. And then this report comes out with those political attacks to compound on that. So even though the headline should be Biden's not going to be prosecuted, instead it was taken over by this Trump pick who Merrick Garland said, let's use the Trump guy. And so now the big focus is on, oh God, President Biden doesn't know when his own son died. I am glad President Biden took his message to the nation. I'm pissed off that Robert Hur would even ask this question to begin with, since it has no bearing on the investigation. They weren't investigating Beau Biden's death. Like, that's not a thing they were investigating. So anyway, screw that guy, screw Merrick Garland, and good on Biden for addressing this.